Hello, everybody, and good evening. It's Saturday. We all know what that means. That means it is Flat Out Racing North America right back at you, right back in your living room, your office, wherever it is that you're hanging out with us from your cell phones, your laptops, your TVs, your tablets. Welcome in. We are here for round 4 this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in Circuit de Barcelona. So, Catalunya, no chicane, ladies and gentlemen, so we're not going to see that very last final difficult sector in the chicane. We're going to see a very high speed double apex corner at the end of the racetrack here tonight, which is going to open up the racing a little bit here for these guys on track here tonight. Now, we do have a fairly small lobby here tonight. We out of our 11 drivers, 4 were unable to get their cars on the racetrack tonight, so we are left with just 7 drivers here tonight. So, should keep the racing fairly close and tight, and hopefully we have a good battle all the way through here. We have Ibon Gong coming in with the thumbs up. Much love, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We also have our friends over on the YouTube here as well. We've got Dane coming in saying, let's go. Hey. THG in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. Alright, so who we do have on track here today is Mr. Smurf. We do have Perea. We do have Chip Reese. We have Merch. We have Apex Heathen. And we do have K Ricard. And of course we do have RWB PD here as well, and we will have some updated lists for you guys in due time here. It's just they keep swapping around here, so it's really hard to keep up here, but hey, huge shout out to everybody involved. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are presenting for Flat Out Racing North America. It is sponsored by GTR Simulators. You need a sim rig, ladies and gentlemen. Very reasonable price out of the United States of America, and go check them out. Website is pinned in the comments on the Facebook channel, and of course the Flat Out Racing North America YouTube channel. So if you want to learn more about GTR Simulators, just head over to one of the channels, hit that link in the pinned comments. It'll take you right directly to the website, and then of course you can go check out to see what they have from there. And our other sponsor, of course, is Apex Racing as well, ladies and gentlemen. And I've misplaced the link for their page, so we'll have it back on the broadcast hopefully tomorrow night for everybody as well. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and of course these are powered by Hypre as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go Heathen, says Larry Birch. Alright, so let's talk strategies real quick. Qualifying is going to get underway in about 4 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen, so we're in no big hurry. We're doing alright. We're a little bit late getting live tonight, but we were making a couple of behind-the-scenes calls before we did go on live here tonight. So, like I said, a small field tonight, so what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is as long as the drivers don't have any full mechanical failures here on the racetrack tonight, there is huge points up for grabs here for these 7 drivers. It's going to shake up the overall standings coming into, of course, the round and moving into round 5. So the drivers do have 2 drop rounds as well, ladies and gentlemen, which means that they can have 2 races. The 2 worst races right at the end of the season are going to get dropped off of every driver's points total, and then whatever the new point standings sit, that will be the total official standings for our season as well. And we'll bring some standings up for you folks here in a little bit while the broadcast is going. So, Saturday night racing in Spain here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and the guys have been working hard here, man. We have been seeing all the divisions just putting in their paces on the racetrack. Our track officials and stewards here at Barcelona have been ample busy with 80 drivers to deal with here in 5 divisions, of course. So it is going to be nice for these staff to have a little break after a great evening of racing. Hey, how you doing, John? Good evening to you too as well. I hope you're doing fantastic. Also coming with that like over on the Facebook. PD Snow coming in with the like as well. Good luck to you, my man, and that share. Much love. So, strategy talk. I mean, the amateur division runs on 2 times fuel and 3 times tire wear, so these guys are on 1x smaller than the rest of the divisions above them, and that's just so these guys can learn at a quicker pace and, of course, provide good racing in amongst the division as well. Some of these drivers are possibly brand new to the game, and, of course, some are a little more experienced and still just finding and perfecting their racing craft. So we do see really great racing out of the AM guys here. These guys kick off the show here for Flat Out Racing North America every weekend, and they do a fantastic job, and they've been really great races so far. So settle in, ladies and gentlemen. Just because this is the amateur division does not make these guys any less of racers than any other of the divisions. So we all have to go somewhere as racers, and our qualifying puts us where it puts us, and then we race. So here we are at round 4, Circuit de Barcelona for Flat Out Racing North America. we're going to see if we have anybody on track here. We do. Alright, let's flip it over here. So we do have merch here on track. We don't have any information up for you guys. Let me bring that up for you. Alright, so there we go. So as you can see here, merch on track is just putting in a few final practice laps here. So we're going to have a 10-minute qualifier here. And Barcelona, as we all know, especially racing fans know that Barcelona is a great racetrack for racing. So we should see some really good side-by-side action at some points throughout the race here today. And ooh, dangerous pit lane entry with worn out tires here too. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, of course I do drive in the Pro Division in the series myself, and I made the mistake of coming into pit lane a little too hot yesterday while I was practicing, and ooh, no bueno. So the drivers are really going to have to be careful of that here this weekend. Pit lane does have two walls that kind of can really mess up your day coming into pit lane. Am Racing is the best mix for good viewing. Fantastic, absolutely, Dane. Much love coming in over on Facebook. We got Michael coming in with the share as well. Good luck to you too, my dude. Stefan coming in with the like on the Facebook stream. So as you can see here at qualifying, we're going to see the drivers come out on the soft tire. They're going to run the best possible lap time they can within a 10-minute time frame. And then from there, the host gives these guys any time to make any final adjustments to these cars, change their tires, whatever it is that they need to do before race time. And then, of course, our host, who is record, will start the race, and it'll be game on from there. Do we have game audio? We do now. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, too, if you want to know more about Flat Out Racing North America and you just want a quick little update, on the bottom right-hand side of our banner, you can see on the screen in front of you there, just underneath the GT45 Gaming, Hypre, and of course right beside our sponsors there, you can see an Instagram link. That is also where you can keep up to date on simple things like scheduling, events, standings for Flat Out Racing North America, maybe anything special that might be happening. Of course, our media guru Yanni here at Flat Out Racing North America does a great job with the Instagram, keeping it up to date. So for those of you that are just in a pinch and on the run and want to stay up to date, don't forget to head over to Instagram there and also follow Flat Out Racing North America on Instagram. Be greatly appreciated. So I mean, what can we say? Mercedes AMG GT3 2016 version race car, very, very stable race car. I think it's a great pick for our amateur division here this season. It's a very fun car. It's quick, and I think it gives these guys a really good idea of what to expect out of these. I want to say high downforce. This isn't really a high downforce car. It's more of a mid downforce car, these GT3 cars, but nonetheless getting used to higher rates of speeds and learning, of course, how to do that side by side obviously is always important. So even in the higher divisions, we all struggle with that from time to time, but hey, racing is racing, and you just take it one lap at a time, one turn at a time. That's all you can do, right? So these drivers are definitely going to have to work out for them here, so we should see qualifying get underway here shortly. We may be potentially having maybe an initialization error. Who knows? We did face an update last week. No, there we go. So qualifying is officially going to be underway here now. So let's grab our fancy camera stick here and let's see what we can do. So who is our first driver out on track? It looks like it's going to be Rickard here. So of course our amateur host and administrator here at Flat Out Racing North America does a fantastic job here for the division. And he is going to be the first guy out on track with Flying Fox Racing. You can see a new partner there on the back of that race car with IMV Racewear. And of course you can see GTR and Apex Racing on that car there as well. And of course that beautiful Flying Fox graphic on the side of that Mercedes AMG here in Barcelona today. And so far the sun's shining, but in my experience with Spain, the weather changes very quickly here. So what can we expect to see for weather? Well, we don't actually know, ladies and gentlemen, because the weather model in these races, each round is random. So that does not take rain out of play in these races on the tracks that are available to have our dynamic rain weather dynamic in place. Very potentially could rain on the racetrack for these drivers. So in the case of rain, obviously they are allowed to go in and get in intermediates or wet tires. So hopefully the drivers, of course, have brought those tires with them. You just never know what's going to happen in Spain here, ladies and gentlemen. So we could see some very interesting weather changes here at the racetracks. We see Mr. Smurf getting really wide. They're not compensating for that overspeed in behind the slipstream there, just making a mistake, pulling him wide. And you can see these guys are all very close together here, trying to help each other out, trying to utilize each other for slipstream going through qualifying. But this is just an out lap, and it looks like these guys are racing already. So very interesting. We got Pradea here, and oh yeah, so we just seen Chip Reese. He's just going to come out here. He's going to come out fresh with some clean air. Very smart thinking here from Chip Reese, actually, ladies and gentlemen. He just got stuck in a little bit of a cluster, a traffic jam there, and he couldn't get any space that he wanted. He obviously needs a little bit of space, so you just see him pop right back into pit lane there, and he's going to come out with some clean air and a wide open racetrack in front of him. So, yeah, it's risky slipstreaming while you're qualifying, because if you do make that mistake, it could cost you your lap. So we do have Record, of course, is now officially out on his first hot lap. It's Mr. Smurf in behind. Heathen comes out. He's third in behind, with Perea now fourth in the march, the train. Merch here in fifth place, unfortunately with that penalty, but we still have time for probably about 4 solid hot laps here. We got RWB PD in sixth place, and he's proving to be a very strong competitor here. Very early on in our amateur division, he missed the first 2 races of the season, comes in, qualifies, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, as a substitute driver, and because we have open spots available in our amateur division, very immediately just puts him in as a full-time driver, so he is in this fight for these prizes as well, and very quickly moving his way up the standings as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, let's go Flying Foxes, get it, Kells, hey. Scott Arthur coming in, Jason Dean coming in with those likes as well, Joe, my man, coming in with that thumbs up. So let's get with Record here. We do have Mr. Smurf in behind. He's in that slip here of Record in behind, so Mr. Smurf may benefit from that, may come out as our pole sitter here very early on, but we do have 5 other drivers behind him here as well, all biting for that top position, of course, on the grid. 1 bonus point for our pole sitter here, so qualifying does matter, ladies and gentlemen. There are bonus points available here for the drivers for qualifying and fastest lap. So we are going to stick with Record here as he's just coming around into the final corners here, and let's see what he puts down for that time. He's going to be a 143.5. Smurf is going to come out in pole position just ahead with a 142.2. Heathen's going to come out with a 143.1. Perea is going to come around with a 143.3. So Record dropping all the way down to 4th place there very quickly. Merch is going to come around. What are we looking at here from Merch, as he is in a 143.5 as well. We got RWB PD. He's just coming around here. 2 more corners, so we're going to stay with PD here and see what his first time is. And these cars are only should put down faster times, of course, as they lose a little bit of fuel load in these cars. So 10 minutes, very short amount of time to qualify here. And RWPD is going to go up into 3rd, so Chip should be coming around here right now. No, Chip is still on his official hot lap here right now. Of course, he opted to get himself into some clean air there. Want to send me a party invite? Carlos Raylander coming in with the thumbs up. Noel Lander with the like as well. Mark coming in with that thumbs up. Yeah, you gotta hang tough until in between qualifying and race start, my dude. Apex Heathen here in 2nd place, so yeah, we're seeing PD up into 3rd, Perea up in 4th, so Record had a really good time there on his first lap. Ooh, and Mr. Smurf overshooting the corner there, so that's going to ruin that lap for him. And he does get it back on track there, but definitely going wide, coming around that hard left-hander hairpin here. And I haven't done my homework yet, so I don't have corners here for you guys today, but we'll definitely have to try and have that sorted out for everybody here tomorrow. But we're going to sit with Record here, as he still is essentially in the line, started ahead of the lineup here. So Chip Reese coming in with a 143 there as well, I believe I just seen on the screen. 43.2, so that will move him up into 4th place here as he comes around. And Mr. Smurf probably didn't improve. I didn't think so. Heathen does improve with a 142.279, so only 4/100ths of a second behind our leader, Mr. Smurf, here right now. PD is only, well, he's a full second off Heathen here, but I suspect that may come down yet. Record here back down into 5th. We got Perea now all the way down into 6th, and Chip here with a 143.596. Not a terrible time here either, up into 7th. So we are seeing some relatively close times here. You want to fire up a chat, Nolander? You want to jump ahead on me a little bit here? Yeah, you're all good, dude. You're all good. Corey coming in with a thumbs up. Anthony coming in with a thumbs up. David coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. Am I missing anybody? Carlos Raylander coming in as well. I think I said that, but just to make sure. We don't want to miss anybody there. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone is having a good Saturday night. Hey, cheers, brother. Cheers, cheers. DDR up in the house. We got Merch now up into pole position, 3/10 of a second faster, a 141.392. So we're seeing some pretty good times here by these amateur guys in these Mercedes. PD now up in the 141s as well, taking second place. Mr. Smurf dropping all the way down to P3. Heathen right up in Mr. Smurf's slipstream here, so maybe good for Heathen as he comes around this lap. We'll have to wait and see. They're on a very tough sector of the racetrack here. This is all the technical sectors here at Barcelona require a lot of throttle control, rhythm, and just the stability of the race car getting around the corners. And if you can do those three things every time around the racetrack, you're gonna be in pretty good shape for a race win here around Barcelona. It's very flowing racetrack, and it makes for good racing. So we got Merch up still in pole position. We got PD in second. We've got Mr. Smurf down into third. Heathen in fourth. Record is in fifth. We got Perea in sixth, and Chip here in seventh. All drivers putting in some pretty good laps there, but that 141.392 so far proving to be dominant. Hey, absolutely, we're doing very well. Hope you are too, my guy. All the way from the land down under, Mr. Anthony Saloom. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. So Merch cruising here. He's looking good. He came out of nowhere. He was just like, I'm chilling, I'm chilling, I'm chilling. Boom! Hey, look at how fast I can go, boys. So Merch may be looking to take this bonus point here. We only have about 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in qualifying, so there's about enough time for these drivers to get a couple more cracks at it here. Depending on when it is, of course, that they do cross that start-finish line compared to the timer. Go Heathen, says Bigums. Hey, look at the chat. Chat is on fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, everybody. Much love. RWB PD, he's got a nice little green design on this car here today. We've seen a little bit of a different design from this driver every week so far, but proved to be very quick here. 3.5 tenths behind our pole sitter, though. Mr. Smurf is almost a half second behind RWB PD, followed very closely by Apex's Heathen, only 4/100ths of a second in behind our third place driver, Mr. Smurf. Record here in fifth place, Perea in sixth currently, and Chip Reese, of course, sitting in seventh currently here as well. With the penalty there, that's not going to help his lap time here coming around. And 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom left-hand side of the screen does tell you how much time into the 10-minute timer we are now at. So, as you can see, minute 45 laps, just for argument's sake, here on the racetrack. So, what's the time? Enough time for some of these guys to get around one more time, and the rest of them are going to have to get moving if they want to get across that start-finish line. But Perea now up into third place, so he puts down a lap of 141.952. So our third driver into the 41s here. He's nipping right there, just edging out Mr. Smurf. You can see right there. Now moving up into fourth, Mr. Smurf getting bumped down to fifth place. Record getting bumped all the way to sixth, and Chip just hanging tough here in seventh still. But PD now up in pole position with a 140.8. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, it is getting hot up in Spain tonight. These amateurs are flying, folks. Wow. Merch here, he's coming. What has he got to respond with here? We got Perea. He's responded. He's like, hey, I'm not quite done yet. 141.952, very respectable time here. Heathen as well, just nipping on the outside edge of those 41s currently here. Mr. Smurf right there too as well with a 42.2. Record here with a 42.7. These drivers are very close here. Chip Reese very close behind here. He's just not been able to hook it up. A couple penalties there. That does hurt qualifying. You got to keep it clean when you're qualifying. THG in the house. Let's go, Ams. There's huge love here tonight. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we are presenting for Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Family-friendly broadcast as well, folks, so please don't hesitate to allow the kids to come in and enjoy the viewing as well. We know that especially the little boys out there definitely love race cars, and we got some fast ones here for everybody tonight. Small field, we are missing some drivers, having some issues, not able to get them cars on track, but all right, there we go. So hopefully these guys give me a second. I'm just going to flip you back over to another screen for a moment. Boop.
So we are on that starting grid.
There we go. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen, just a quick little technical difficulty. We do have our co-host joining us here now as well, so here we go. We are green, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on with our leader, RWBPD, and we don't have our great camera angle. Merch gets a great launch off the line, and he is going to take that position away from PD. You're coming into the corner, 2x2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 coming into corner 1. He's going to get that position. He's going to take them both here, maybe. PD with the inside line coming into the next corner, but Heathen has to run out. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact there. Very good job by all the drivers. They got a little clustered up, a little bottled up, and it is tough battle in here very early on. We got Perea and Record side by side as well in 4th and 5th place. Ooh, doggy. It is hot in here. All right, so Record taking a look on the outside. A little bit of contact between him and Perea. Nothing too major there, but this is very tough sledding side by side. We got Mr. Smurf and Chip Reese side by side here as well. And there we go. So look at this, first through 7th place, all nose to tail here very early on, midway through this race. A little bit of contact there between Mr. Smurf and Chip Reese, but those two drivers continue on. All right, so we are going to get you guys some racing information. I am failing miserably here today. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything here. We do have Mr. Smurf in 6th, Chip in 7th, so everybody within a couple seconds apart from each other. So very early on, we could be seeing different strategies here as well, ladies and gentlemen. So let me take a little rip through the field here real quick. Yes, it does kind of look like we see a couple of different strategies partaking here on the racetrack very, very early on. So we are underway, and Merch is going to take us around here for the first time around Barcelona. 25 laps here tonight too, ladies and gentlemen. So oh, and we have Merch getting it wrong there, spinning, getting it just caught in that sand trap, and he's going to go all the way to the back there. So really unfortunate for Merch, and that means Apex Heathen now going to take the race lead here. So on lap 2, we have our second race leader already tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in Apex's Heathen. And he is our current championship's point leader coming into round 4 here today as well. So he is now on the charge and setting the pace here. We're going to just move through the field here. We're on second board driver RWBPD, and then we're going to go give you guys some camera angles. And it looks like we have a battle happening here for 3rd and 4th place. Let's get with this. This Record's going to take a look on the inside of Perea here. And it looks like Perea may have covered that off. Side by side they are. We just couldn't see Record's car, and Record's going to get through P34 Record, so making early moves these drivers are. And Record's going to be like, thank you very much. I'm just going to go here and try to chase those guys down. Perea's like, whoa, whoa, mate. We ain't done here yet. I'm coming back. So 3rd and 4th place here, very quickly switching positions. Mr. Smurf here in 5th place as well. We've got Mr. Chip Reese here in 6th, and Merch in 7th, and Mr. Nolander, if you are there, why don't you take us away for a minute so I can switch out some camera angles here.
Yes, sir. You got it. How we doing tonight, folks? How we doing? Well, all drivers look to be running really smooth tonight. Mr. GT45 Gaming, and it's looking like Ethan is really trying to get himself a little bit of separation here. However, PD Snow looking really good in P2 right now, doing some great racing. Again, all the field looks to be running really smooth. Some smooth lines, clean lines. We got PD in P2, Rec in P3, Perea in P4. Merge has moved back up to P5. We got Chip Reese in P6, and Mr. Smurf has just gotten it wrong in P7. Not sure what just happened there. That is unfortunate, but he will get himself collected, gathered, and back on the move again.
Absolutely, and tough luck there for Mr. Smurf, but we've seen two drivers now, Nolander, make that same mistake there in the same corner, so I wonder if this is going to be a continuing trend here tonight.
Let's hope not, my friend. Let's hope not. Let's hope these drivers can keep their cars collected on the track and out of the green stuff and keep that traction.
Absolutely, and we do know that a great racetrack for side-by-side racing, but when you take the chicane out of the factor here at Barcelona, that opens up that final corner to be a really fairly high-speed corner, and if you miscalculate that corner, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we've seen twice here tonight so far from our drivers, Merch and Mr. Smurf. You just get loaded a little bit wide, you get caught up in that sand, and well, sometimes it just pulls you in and sometimes it spins you out. So we've seen one of each instance here so far tonight from our drivers. But these guys are absolutely just going to put the pedal down and just start to work back up on each other here. So Mr. Smurf a little bit behind, but he does have Chip Reese just up ahead. So if these two can link up, not battle too much, work together, they can most certainly close up the next group of 2 cars up in front of them here as well. Alright. We're just checking on all our streams here, ladies and gentlemen, real quick to make sure everything is working. Sweaty palms, let's get it done, Foxes. Hey, much love, brother. We got Corey Turner coming in with the follow on GT45 Gaming there as well. Much love, my dude. Jake Batty coming in with that heart. Jason coming in with the double share. Much love, my guy. We appreciate you. You guys are blowing it up tonight. It is Saturday night, and we are live here at Flat Out Racing North America, and it has been some interesting action already from a very small group of drivers here today. And again, 4 drivers not able to get those cars out of the garage here today, having some kind of failure, so we are short 4 drivers on the grid here tonight, but these 7 drivers are sure making up for it here very, very early on. Hey, can you still hear me, Mr. Nolander?
Yes, sir, we are here. I'm taking a look at Merch. He is really on the move, catching right up to the back end of Record and looking fantastic.
All right, we're just checking the feedback thing. I think I got this sorted out here. I think it's actually my microphone that's causing it too close to the headset. So we're going to keep rocking with it this way. If you can hear me, that's fantastic. So let's keep going in here. Let's dig in. Mr. Nolander again. We're getting things sorted out a little bit better here, and hope you guys can actually enjoy some of our co-hosts tonight, Mr. Nolander Gaming from Facebook Gaming. So much love, my dude. We definitely appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely, my friend. Definitely appreciate the opportunity to be here for some more great racing in our AM division here.
And it has been good. I mean, Record here holding very solid in 3rd place. Merch is starting to put the pressure on him here, so Merch quickly moving back up the field here, all the way to the back after that last final corner incident very early on in the race. Got himself in the sand trap and making moves. He is back up putting pressure here on our 3rd place drivers. So fastest lap on the racetrack currently, ladies and gentlemen, is RWB PD with a 142.136. Perdea here in 5th place, and we know this driver's quick, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen him quick in qualifying, and all season long this driver's proven to be very worthy of battling on the podium here as well. So it's going to be interesting to see when the strategies start to kick in, what these guys are thinking on the racetrack here today. And ultimately, again, we went to talk about strategies and we didn't talk about them. So one-stop strategy, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the dominant strategy here at Barcelona this weekend for all the divisions, but I could be wrong. So we probably see these drivers run about 15 to 16 laps on the medium compounded of tire, and then we'll probably see these guys jump in for some soft tires and just run out the rest of the race. If we do see drivers on a 2-stop strategy, and I think that'd be a pretty big if here, especially in the lower division here today, I think that we'll see probably about 10 to 12 laps on the mediums, and then like an 8-8 stint on the softs or something like that. But with that being said, the pit lane is a little bit lengthy here at Barcelona, so 2-stop strategy may not be too feasible against a bunch of 1-stop strategies. So I think it's going to be the first driver to make a move here. It might determine on what some of these guys are going to opt to do as far as their pit strategies go here today. Thoughts on that, Mr. Nolander?
I'm thinking the same thing. Many of the drivers may just wait it out as long as they can and just see what the first person who goes into pits, what they opt to do, and then they may decide to follow suit or just go with their original plan of action here. Merch is definitely caught right back up to Record and is holding steadily right behind him. He may look to try to make a move right here as he's well within that slipstream, and it looks like he is going to try to make the move. Coming around turn 1, looks like he's definitely going to get this position here, and he has done it. He has pulled it off into turn 1 and turn 2, and already gaining a little bit of separation on Record here.
Absolutely.
So well done to Merch there.
Okay.
Looking real smooth tonight.
Great calls there by Nolander. Gave our TV crew a really great chance to really catch that battle in action. So again, it didn't look like Record really fought that. He knew that the guy, he did know that Merch had to run on him in slipstream. So Record potentially playing a little bit of strategy here. He's got his plan, and he's just not going to use up that race card just quite yet. So is this battle over? I highly doubt it. I believe this battle is very far from over, ladies and gentlemen. But racing strategy does play a part of how these races do end up. 25 lap race too, ladies and gentlemen. We are about a 45-minute race. It's a very small endurance race in a sense. And these guys don't really need to force the issue too early on here. The point is just not to lose the guy in front of you and try to catch the guys in front of that guy. So that's what these two are working on here right now. 13 seconds currently from our race leader, Heathen, who really just benefited from an incident from Merch up in front and just kind of was able to break away a little bit. So nice little gap built up by RWBPD and, of course, Apex's Heathen. Perea here in 5th place, 8 seconds behind Record right now. We have Mr. Smurf here in 6th and Chip in 7th. So we're probably going to see a lot of one-stop strategies here today, folks. But I think we're going to see them done at very different times in the race. Just due to positioning on the racetrack for some of these drivers. I think we're going to see some of these guys that are a little bit further off the pace of the leaders potentially come in a little bit earlier just to get on that soft and compounded tire.
And we have some developments here. Our first place runner, Heathen, has picked up a 0.5 second penalty, which is going to allow Petey Snow to grab up some more time from him and really get close, if not make the pass on him and retake the lead.
Absolutely, and that gap is 1.14 seconds. However, Barcelona, the penalty serving zone, isn't too hurtful here. You're not on a very long run straightaway. You're actually coming into a very hard braking zone here at Barcelona where this penalty serving zone is. So you do lose a little bit of speed, but you're not losing quite as much as we've seen so far early on in the season in the other 3 rounds, where it's typically right at the beginning of a high-speed sector, and it just takes all that momentum away. And you're going to see Heathen there just serve that penalty there. And you can see Petey definitely gained some time on him here, but not the time you usually see. Already back to a second is this gap, so Heathen's doing a pretty great job here so far, holding down the early race lead, but RWBPD is definitely chasing. We have Merch here in 3rd, 11 seconds behind these guys, so those 2 guys have already checked out. They are like, later boys, catch us if you can. Record here in 4th, really eating up a lot of that curve. He may pick a penalty up for that, actually. We'll have to see what the stewards think here as he's coming around this last corner. Though it does look like he actually gets away with it there, so stewards were feeling a little bit kind here today. So Record does get around. He's got a nice little pace here as he comes around. Oh, didn't quite get that right, but still pretty good exit speed here. You can see Merch up there, so this battle's not done between these drivers yet.
Indeed, no, my friend. I'd imagine the battle will intensify as we get further into this race. We do have Smurf has managed to take back over P6 from Mr. Grease here. And Smurf looking as though he has gathered his composure and looking real smooth. So look for him to be taking down some time on our 5th pace Pariah.
Chip Reese too here, right there on the backside of Mr. Smurf. So Chip Reese starting to look like he's settling into the series here now as we're in round 4 as well. So some of these drivers have not necessarily had the greatest start to their season compared to obviously what they would like to see. Any racer that doesn't win a race gets would like to win a race obviously, but it's nice to see the drivers settle into the series, start to feel comfortable around with the competitors they're racing against, and just get used to the racetracks and the cars they're driving. And I think we're starting to see that here as these guys definitely are starting to really provide some great racing action. They've been providing great racing action all season long, but you can tell it's very serious now. You can tell these boys are on a mission here at Flat Out Racing North America. So Heathen really eating a lot of that corner there. You got to be careful with that corner. The stewards don't like to see too much corner cut, and they're coming into these final 2 corners. So Heathen very fortunate there not to pick up another one of those half seconds.
Mr. Smurf again getting it wrong. Chip Reese has moved back into P6, so a little bit of a mishap there again for Mr. Smurf. I think he might have been just pushing a little bit hard there and gets it wrong and allows Chip Reese to get back around him again. But they're both underway again.
And Mr. Smurf did gain some ground right away on Chip there as well, as Chip kind of made a little bit of a braking error coming into that really hard left-hander there as well. So that does allow Mr. Smurf really to just tie right back into this battle and rejuvenate it right away. It should give him some slipstream opportunity. Oh, and was that a little bit of lag we just seen there from Chip? Whoa!
Oh,
Nice job recovering there. Very thankful
indeed.
for Mr. Smurf that the car ghosted there as well. So that could have been absolutely not a good accident there, but the game coming in and playing failsafe there for everybody. So guys are still on the road cruising. Whew, scary moments, chat. We hate to see it, but hey, that's a part of racing. You make one little mistake like that, and you can see how quickly these cars can disappear on these drivers. These are very, very high-powered racing cars, ladies and gentlemen, in these Group 3 classes, and the Mercedes has a very strong low-end torque underneath these rear wheels, and that was exactly what we just seen a case of right there, a little bit of low torque on some slippery conditions on the outside of the curb there, and it just sent Chip for a little bit of a wild ride there, but he did a really good job to keep it together. So yeehaw, folks. But our current race leader, Apex Heathen here, 9 of 25, looking very solid in the lead, but a second place driver, RWB Petey, could just be playing a little coy here. We know this guy's quick, but Heathen has opened that gap up by 2.5 seconds now, or 2.5 seconds now, so he is starting to slowly chip away at that gap from second place driver RWB Petey. Emerged in third place, 11 seconds, still maintaining the gap. He hasn't lost any time to the first or second place driver, but he also hasn't gained any time. So he's just kind of settled right in, putting in his paces here right now, trying to figure out, okay, what can I do here to close up some of this time on these guys? Record here in fourth place, still 8 seconds behind Merch as well. Again, that gap hasn't really shrunk at all either. So these drivers are really settled into their mid-race form here already early on. 6.9 seconds is Perea from record here as well, so that really hasn't changed too much either. And then Mr. Smurf 17 seconds from that driver, and Chip Reese just a little bit behind him. These two have been swapping positions back and forth here, each making little minor mistakes, but still on the track, giving it everything they got. But Apex Heathen absolutely just he's like he stepped into a whole new level here all of a sudden here in the mid part of this race. He's decided, you know what, I don't like Mr. RWB PD being too close behind me right now. I think we're just gonna try and open this up a little bit. And that's exactly what he's doing here. 3.3 seconds now. So pretty good stuff here by IAM guys so far. And again, Barcelona, very quick racing circuit. We do see the F1 guys run here. I mean, they run everything here. This is a fantastic racing circuit for any kind of classic car, really.
Indeed, and Petey Snow on the losing end of gathering himself a penalty now as well, so that 3.4 second gap that Heathen has on him is about to grow.
Absolutely. So Petey's job right now is to try and get some of that time back before he has to serve that penalty, so the time loss doesn't seem as hard on the driver there. So Petey's gonna have to hook up a good lap behind our leader there to see if he can close up a little bit of that half-second penalty he's about to serve, which we will see will cost about that half-second. Again, due to the nature of the penalty serving zone here on this racetrack, it doesn't really affect you any extra time beyond what you're serving for your penalty, minus, of course, maybe shifting up a gear just to get a little bit back up to speed to get ready for your next corner.
Yeah, it is one of the more friendly penalty zones on this track here at Barcelona. So the damage not too great from picking up a penalty. However, it does still hurt, and what it hurts more than your time is your racing conscience. You feel just a little bit degraded every time you catch one of those penalties. But these drivers all maintaining a very professional. Can't even think of the word. They just keep on keeping on is what I mean to say.
Keep on keeping on. I love it. Love it. Love it. You've got some great liveries here too, folks, as we're going to allow our camera crews to get some good close-up shots on our drivers' cars here. Again, one of our sponsored drivers here tonight is Apex Heathen, Apex Racing team driver here, representing one of the sponsors, of course, in the amateur division. The only driver actually represented here for Apex Racing in the amateur division. And just taking a good shot at that race car there as he comes around to lap 11 in the lead here still. And that gap is growing to 4.7 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move over. Ooh, RWB PD, he is coming into pit lane, so undercut situation here for RWB PD. Interesting strategy. You can see him super hard on the brakes coming into pit lane there. And he does have some front aero damage, so that may be the cause of the early pit here from PD as well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that may very well have been the deciding factor for him to go ahead and take the pit a little bit early. And like you say, trying to get that undercut. These AM drivers really coming into their own, and that's a great thing about as league racing as the season progresses. Just getting to watch these drivers' racecraft progress as well. It's fantastic to see.
And Merch in second place here. Not sure if he's actually a part of a team or not here, as we don't see a team tag on his name, but nothing too fancy on that race car. But we are with our third place driver record here, and we're going to get a good look at that Flying Fox livery there. Absolutely spectacular design on that car there. You can see the sponsors on the back of the car. Of course, partners with IMB Racewear, ladies and gentlemen. So newest addition to the Flying Fox racing team with IMB. So be on the lookout for some potential future awesome racing simware from IMB, from Flying Fox Racing as well. You never know what these guys come up with, but it is absolutely legendary stuff over at IMB, what they do there. So huge shout out to IMB Racewear from Flying Fox Racing. Perea here in fourth place as well, and this is Team OBR, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty simple livery here from this driver tonight. You can see that OBR kind of shaded in on the doors there. Really kind of pops out nicely in the sunlight, actually. Very well done there by these guys. And we'll try to get a better shot here from our camera crew for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about here. They just need to give us a good angle. You see GTR simulators all up on the top of that car as well, so great angle by our helicopter crew there as well. Let's see if we can get a shot here as he comes around the corner. There it is, great shot there. You can see, of course, the sponsors nice and big and fat and juicy up there. Love that. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there. Crew gathers it back up. Great job there by Perea. PD coming out in fifth place there, in behind that driver. Give us a chance to get a look at his now RWB representing driver here. And typical RWB racing livery here. Of course, nice little color scheme on this as well from RWB PD. Looking fantastic with our sponsors on the back there as well. Mr. Smurf with that classic white and blue race car. I'm a big fan of this car just because of that little Viper he's got on the corner of the car there. Yeah, absolutely great livery. I'm a fan of this one. Love it. Simple, clean, to the point.
Yeah, all these race cars looking really crisp tonight.
And Chip Reese, I mean,
loving the liveries.
This guy spends tens of thousands of dollars in between each racing week and just absolutely putting on a class act livery on these race cars week in and week out as well. So some of these drivers just absolutely destroying their racing budgets just so their cars look good on track, and we love it here. So much love to the guys out there. The painters need love too.
I'm a big believer in your livery makes you faster. Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. And Apex Heathen looking super strong here midway through the race, so we should start seeing pit stops starting to happen on fairly soon now, ladies and gentlemen. So again, with our racing leader, he's just coming around here to start lap 14 of 25 here, and there it is. So
PD Snow jumping into fourth place, just taking that from Pariah, who has also gathered himself up a 0.5 second penalty. So PD has already opened up a 1 second gap on him, and that will grow slightly due to that penalty that must be served here quite shortly.
And a good run here from Perea as well. And like what we said, we should start seeing pit stops here within the next 2-3 laps, if I had to guess. Again, our race leader so far here, Apex Heathen. We have Merch now, who's moved himself back up into second place after having a final corner incident on lap 1, dropping all the way to the back of the pack, and he's found his way back up into second place here, so he's having a great drive here, but he is going to have to stop at some point here. We are pardon me. Record here in third place, and things are looking pretty good here for this driver, so it's going to be interesting to see how long he opts to stay out for yet. We have RWB PD, who we did see make a pit stop there. I think it was damage, maybe helped his decision a little bit earlier than he maybe wanted to there. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here. He's on what we like to call the supreme undercut situation here right now, currently on the racetrack. Of course, Perea here as well with another half-second track limit penalty there too. So this driver's currently struggling a little bit holding those track limits here. Stewards are definitely picking on him here a little bit. He's like, hey, got to keep it right and tight, got to keep it neat and clean here. So Mr. Smurf in 6th place, and he's doing a good job too. He's 14 seconds behind Perea, and he's gained some time on Chip here, who has of course made his pit stop here as well. So this is Chip's opportunity to get a little bit of an undercut going here, maybe jump in ahead of Mr. Smurf when he finally does decide to pit. So that does kind of take us through our field there, ladies and gentlemen, and give you a little bit of an idea what's going on here from our AM guys tonight halfway through our race. So we're going to let Nolander take over the call for now, and we're going to show you guys the standings.
Very good, very good. Mr. Reese, having come out of his pit, this may prove to be very beneficial for him. He's come out just not too awful far behind Heathen, and perhaps if he can catch up to him, although at this point he's going to be a lap down, but mind you, he has taken his pit stop and Heathen has not. So if he can get up to him and possibly use a little bit of that slipstream, help to get him around this track a little bit quicker than what he would on his own, that would be fantastic. We have a new development in PD Snow now holds fastest lap on track with a 140.927. So Mr. Snow on the move. We have Pariah has just gone in for his pit stop, getting a fresh set of tires and some fuel in that beautiful looking race car there. That Mercedes looking good, looking good. So PD Snow, man on the move right now. He is really, really flying. And he is sitting in third place, and I would imagine that is all going to change here very shortly. He should be able to gather race lead, as the two drivers in front of them in Heathen and Merch have yet to pit. So looking really good where he's sitting right now.
Absolutely.
Record looking really good in P4 as well.
We do have a half-second track limit penalty currently here on our race leader. Apex is Heathen here as well, ladies and gentlemen. So a little bit, again, of an interesting development there. But he does have a 21-second gap on second-place driver Merch. And Merch just coming into pit lane here, as we can see. And he was on the soft tires. We did see when we let you guys take a little peek-see look here. So the only driver to start on the soft tire in the race compared to the whole field going on the medium. So this driver could potentially be at a disadvantage here. However, myself included, don't really do well on the soft tires either on some of these racetracks. So maybe a little bit of strategy here from this driver, opting to just get rid of the tire he struggles with the most and go on to a more comfortable tire for the end of the race. If that is the case, maybe we could see something happening there from third place driver Merch. Record coming in here as well for his stop now. He is in fifth place, and we'll have to see where that brings both these drivers out. But our current race leader, Apex Heathen, now 31 seconds up the road from second place driver RWB PD. Now, with that being said, we did see PD make a pit stop, what was it, about 3 or 4 laps ago. Again, it was a little bit of a damage-induced decision, I think, there for that driver. With that being said, he didn't take any fuel on that pit stop, so that may mean he may need to pit again, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed, I believe you are correct. Also, Mr. Smurf has moved into P3, and he is yet to pit as well. So here we have our race leader just coming into pits now. We'll see how long this pit stop takes him. We'll see if PD Snow manages to make the move up into P1. He as well is going to be having to serve a 0.5 second penalty, though, so that's going to slow him down just a little bit. He actually has opted to go into the pits again as well, just behind PD Snow here. So we will see if our P3 racer is going to pit also.
All right, so where does Mr. Smurf come out in all this now? This driver still has, of course, to make his first pit stop of the race yet as well, ladies and gentlemen. So interesting strategies developing here again in our amateur lobby. These guys always have some of the most out-of-the-box strategies. We just love to see it. And we see that
Mr. Smurf has come into pit. Yep.
So that is going to bring Apex Heathen out in the race lead, and we did see he was on that medium tire when he went into pit lane, so that's going to bring him out on the soft compounded tire. That's going to bring him out. Ooh, he's getting into the marbles there. You can see those little chunks of rubber on the edge of the racetrack there, ladies and gentlemen. When we say the marbles, that is what we were talking about. And those little tiny bits of rubber are like ice on a racetrack when you get cold racing tires on them, and you can see Heathen there almost floating out a little too wide there. as he just got caught up in that, what we call the marbles, on the outside of the racing line, on the outside of these corners. And of course, when all the rubber shreds off these racing tires under all the pressure and stress that these tires are put under in these race cars, it all does fly off to the edge of the racetrack. So it does make that part of the racetrack very, very dicey, especially as the racing continues on. PD here in third place.
Indeed, it does.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, you don't, in Gran Turismo Sport, you know, that didn't really play a factor too much, but with the new physics changes and everything that's going on with our new platform here on Gran Turismo 7, you know, these things do all play a factor in. The air temperature outside, the wind speed, as you can see on the top right-hand side of the map there, these drivers are dealing with 15.5 foot per second winds. You know, that's a good solid 10-15 mile per hour steady wind here on the racetrack today, so these drivers are fighting with that as well.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't know that about that it would give us that information. So always good to get information about your racetrack and your racing conditions out on track.
We are seeing a little bit of the drivers being spread out here, but there's still potential for battles all up and down the racetrack. Maybe except from this guy here currently right now. As long as he's able to keep it mean and clean the rest of the way through, this should be a very, very efficient victory here for Apex's Heathen. And as you've seen earlier when we just dropped the standings up, he is leading those championship standings. And RWBPD, who's currently running in third right now, is the man chasing him. So Merch in second place, and this driver is somebody these guys better start watching out for, let me tell you, because he's been making moves all throughout this season as well. He's been very quiet there, and he's definitely showing that he's got some racing skill here for these guys in this amateur division as well. PD in third place, and I mean, he's got 13 seconds to make up on Merch here, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can or not. We got a record here.
Apex's Heathen was pulling best lap, but he might have just gotten a penalty, although it's not popped up yet. He was really pushing hard and just flat out cruising. Has a 30-second gap on our P2 racer in Merch. So he is looking to run away with this race, ladies and gentlemen.
And he is coming around here to start lap 19, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump on board with Apex's Heathen. 140.474, ladies and gentlemen. New fastest lap on track by our current race leader. So definitely enjoy this onboard lap by Apex's Heathen, ladies and gentlemen. Great on-board lap there by our racing leader, Apex's Heathen, and a yellow flag being waved up in front for us. So whichever driver it is that he's catching up to here, having some form of complication on the racetrack there. But great lap there by our leader, Apex's Heathen. So, and it is Chip Reese up ahead there.
He's looking smooth. Heathen is looking smooth tonight. Very, very poised. And looking like his concentration levels are just at their peak. He is really looking to run away with this race with just 5 laps remaining.
We're going to jump on board with our second place driver here too, Merch. We're going to stay on board with all our drivers here for the next lap or lap and a bit. They are a little bit spread out, so let's give some love to our car designers. You know, look at that beautiful Mercedes inside the dashboard there from our secondary onboard camera here that's just a little bit behind our driver, mounted to the roll cage and behind. So you can see, you know, much different than the Subaru BRZ we've seen last week on this beautiful, great camera work here. You can see all the switches are in that center console. A little bit difficult for this driver to get to with that netting there, so it'd be interesting to watch one of them how to navigate that. But you know, that adjusts your brake bias control and maybe your fuel mapping, whatever that does as well. And then of course you can see all the kill switches up above that panel there, and then of course the driver and the steering wheel, and of course that great dashboard on board this Mercedes AMG here. So moving over to RWB.
I'll tell you, Record right now is also on the move. He is gaining on PD Snow, who is currently sitting in P3, but Record flat out giving it the business, and he is on the move, looking really sharp tonight. Yeah, fantastic flying fox livery, loving it, loving it.
RWB PD almost getting that wrong there, folks, so great job to keep that car underneath him. That's just going to allow for Record to continue to pull time, you know, on PD with those little tiny mistakes like that.
Yeah, it don't take much, does it?
No, and I mean, we're seeing some different strategies from our front runners here, our top 4 guys. There is a little bit of difference in tire compounds from these drivers currently on the racetrack as well, so that should really prove to be quite interesting moving in towards the end of this race potentially. Perea here in 5th place. And some of these drivers on an interesting set of strategies here today, I must say. Mr. Smurf just having a little bit of a rough race here today as Mr. Smurf. Maybe not one of his favorite racetracks, you know. Not every driver loves every racetrack they drive on. It's just the way it is. So, still on the track putting in his paces here, though. And Chip Reese here as well in 7th place. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the broadcast, these drivers all getting crazy good points, with there only being 7 in the field here. Ooh, and we got our leader almost getting it wrong there. He does a great job to keep that car up underneath of him. And I mean, he doesn't even need to push right now. He just needs to literally just hit every corner and just keep a nice, good, steady pace. These guys can't catch him. They only have 3.5 laps left to go. But if he wants to try and push and make that mistake, he could very potentially give that 2nd place driver in Merch an opportunity to steal that position, depending on how bad of a mistake he does make. So if I'm this driver here right now, my focus is just straight up, don't miss a braking point right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. No reason to be pushing. You already got P1. You've already got fastest lap on track, and he just needs to keep it together. And he's got this race in the bag with just 4 laps to go and a 35-second gap over P2. He's looking really, really good. Again, the question is whether or not Record is going to be able to catch PD Snow. However, PD Snow, he is on the move as well, because he has taken what was a 6-second gap over Record to now an 8-second gap, an 8.5-second gap over Record. So PD Snow really putting it to the wood.
Absolutely, and throwing pretty good down pace. I was just checking out the lap times for RWB PD and him and Record very close in the last 2 laps, but that final lap that these guys just made before this one, they're coming around right now, a couple second difference between PD and Record. So Record maybe just fuel saving a little bit here, again a little off the pace from that driver up in front. Perea here also maybe starting to close in a little bit now as well. You can see the tail end of Record's car just up ahead of him, so we're going to monitor that gap. 9.3 seconds with 3.5 laps remaining essentially for most of these drivers here. Mr. Smurf's just coming in behind him as well, with Chip Reese following here in 7th. So, you know, interesting. The drop rounds are really going to shake up the standings here, I think, in our amateur division, especially with it being a little bit of a smaller field here tonight. Again, all these drivers getting really good points, so you know, we say it broadcast in and broadcast out, you know, don't get discouraged as a racer, because especially when you know you have 2 free rounds. So you have 2 free bad races, you have 2 free bad internet connections, you have 2 free real life endeavors that you need to do instead of racing. You know, you have 2 freebies essentially. So every point matters and every position matters, especially in a 10-week series that does factor into 2 drop rounds. So that turns that 10-week series very quickly into an 8-week series. We've got Aaron Benson coming in with that like, Vic coming in with that like as well. Vic is the number giving Merch good luck, he says. Whatever it is, he's definitely sitting solid here in P2. So 10-second lead on third place RWB PD, but PD's shaving into that time a little bit here. Record losing that gap. Perea starting to lose the gap on Record here as well. And Mr. Smurf now right
on the move, he is.
The tail of Perea. So Perea maybe making a mistake at some point here, and that's allowed Mr. Smurf to have a shot at a P5 finish here potentially today.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a battle for P5 indeed over the next 3 laps that are remaining of this race, and it is about to be 2 laps as they are coming around the final corner here at Barcelona. Great racetrack this, with the no chicane at the end there. Really makes for quite a smooth and flowing and fast racetrack.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is just one Division 5 here this week as well, ladies and gentlemen, racing here at Spain. So we do have a smaller grid here for our amateur division, but stay tuned tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies, for our elite division, and our elite division will be definitely a much bigger grid coming into the race at race time as well. So it's going to be crazy to see the kind of times that these guys are going to be putting down in the race as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to see what World Tour time look like, you definitely don't want to miss out on that elite division here. Again, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time here at GT45 Gaming, and of course Flat Out Racing North America's YouTube. And just a fantastic series. This is sponsored by GTR Simulators and of course Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. And we are your hosts for the evening. GT45 Gaming and Nolander Gaming in the box here with us again this weekend. So much love to Nolander for stepping in and keeping me company, keeping me on my game.
Hey, again, absolutely appreciate the opportunity and thoroughly enjoy doing these co-coms with you, my guy. It is always a pleasure. I get to take notes from one of the masters, so much appreciated.
Too kind. If you could see through my red beard, I would be blushing right now.
We do have some development here. Mr. Smurf has taken over PD5 from Perea, and I'm not sure if there was a little bit of an incident with Perea of his own accord, but Mr. Smurf has now opened up a 7-second gap on him, and with just a lap and a half here remaining, 1 lap remaining, well, we've got the 24th lap and the 25th lap. But he's looking very firm in that P5 position.
Great minds think alike, as I just switched the camera over and realized that Mr. Smurf had got the job done on Perea there. So great minds think alike, ladies and gentlemen. He was on top of it. But Apex Ethan, one more time around, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to stick with our race leader here unless Mr. Nolander tells us we're missing something other words for this final lap of the race here. So 39-second lead on the field, and strategy proving really to be the ultimate decider here for the distance on this race lead here. Oh, and we had a driver just come into the lobby.
Indeed, I think you're pretty safe on staying with Heathen, my guy. It doesn't look like we're going to have any more battles developing unless there is a pretty significant driver error on track. We do have Record pulling his best times right now, still doing his best to try to catch up to P3's PD Snow, but still a 6-second gap between himself and Mr. Snow as well. So we'll see if he can get that job done with what remains of this race, and it is not much as he is coming around the final corner to the start-finish line, which will mean 1 lap left remaining for him to try to catch up PD Snow with a 5.9-second gap ahead of him. PD Snow just going around the very first corner of this racetrack, and we shall see what develops there.
Absolutely, and Apex Heathen here, he's just coming around the last couple corners here right now, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be victory for Apex Racing driver Heathen here in round 4. Just a couple more corners to go here. So 1 high-speed corner, final corner here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big sweeper. And it is race win here for round 4 for the Apex Racing driver, Apex Heathen. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Heathen. Absolutely outstanding job here by himself. We got Merch rolling around here in P2, and as Mr. Nolander was saying, RWBPD was absolutely trying to close up the door there, but just not going to be able to get it done here. And 15-second gap for our second place drivers. He's just slowly starting to come around here as well. And 3 corners left. And another great race finish here by our second place driver, Birch, as well. So congratulations to him as he's just coming around the final corner here now.
Ooh, Record has brought that 5-second gap down to a 3-second gap, so he is really on the move and trying to catch it, but he is approaching the final corners of this race. Well done to Merch there, getting a P2 there, but again, man of the hour, Heathen, with a 40-second gap over P2. He ran away with that race, looking really sharp tonight.
Absolutely. Third place going to RWBPD, and he almost looked like maybe he was a little bit upset with himself. He was coming around that final corner, kind of yanking that car around the corner, and maybe a little bit of frustration, thinking he could have had a better race here tonight. Record coming very close behind there in 4th place. Mr. Smurf just coming around that line here, grabbing a nice solid P5 finish from him. Very rough straight race start for this driver, and good recovery for him here in 5th place. Perea coming around here right now, and he's going to be the last driver across the start-finish line here today, but finishing in 6th place. Of course, Chip Reese just a lap down. Did finish, of course, last time around there. So Perea in 6th place, and Chip Reese having a good run here as well in 7th place. Bit by bit, each one of these drivers, you know, picking up that absolutely huge track experience. So what's going to happen here now, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to jump into a Discord chat, actually, for the podium interviews. And we don't have Mr. Nolander in there with us yet, so until we get that sorted, we'll just keep Mr. Nolander in the PlayStation chat with us here, and then I'll just relay his question to each podium finisher on his behalf here tonight, and then we'll get him into the Discord server here moving into the future. So just bear with me for one moment here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to make that happen fairly shortly here, but Apex Heathen with the race win here, very commanding win for Heathen here tonight. We have Merch here in 2nd place, with RWBPD rounding out that podium for 3rd place. So losing a little bit of ground on the championship standings, points leader Heathen, but still in the fight. Record as well, solid race finish here in 4th place for him. That should keep him right there for the battle in the top of the standings as well, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Smurf with a good, very respectable 5th place recovery drive here, and that's going to keep him in pretty good point standings as well. Perea here in 6th place, again, great finish for this driver. And final driver is Chip Reese. Not all lost here, 7th place points for Chip Reese tonight, so good points for all 7 of these drivers. I mean, you know, there's always a positive with a negative. We had a small field, but the positive, every one of these drivers picking up huge championship points tonight here in the amateur division. So much love to, of course, our amateur guys as week in and week out. They always provide good races for us here. So we're just going to flip you over to the podium interview screen, ladies and gentlemen. So just... And we'll be back in about 90 seconds time or less. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back here, and we do have two of our three podium interviews currently standing in the interviewing screen. RWBPD, we are just waiting on. He may not be aware that we have moved the interviews, of course, to Discord potentially, but hey, that's been posted for a while. It's not our fault if he doesn't read, right? So, no, huge congratulations to RWBPD. I mean, he's a member of the community here at GT45 Gaming, and we love to see all the community members sitting there finding the way on the podium. So we're proud of him, and we're just gonna wait for a minute here to see if he does pop in. Let's catch up on some comments here real quick with the chat. If Cal finishes P4, should spring him in third overall. Good comms from both of you. Enjoying it over here from John Grayson. Much love, brother. We appreciate you. Dig in Foxes. Well done, Am Driver, says Mark. Bob Cross, congrats, Smurf. Hey, let's get a hashtag Bob up in the chats too, ladies and gentlemen. He came in with a 50-star bomb during a broadcast. Absolute legend. Thank you so much for the stars. Absolutely love you here, Bob. Appreciate it, my man. So, we're just going to go back and check the Discord, and we are missing Petey. So, with that being said, we're just going to get rid of that little button there, and we're just going to jump up to our second place driver, Merch, here for the time being, and we'll give Petey a chance to try and find where the interviews are at here, and if not, well, it's okay. But a really great drive here from our second place competitor, Merch, and he had a great race start there. He took the whole shot right off the race. Right off the bat at the green light, and then at the end of the first lap he made a little bit of an error. He floated a little bit wide in the final corner, got caught up in that sand trap. It kind of just sucked him in like quicksand, and he fell very quickly to the back of the pack. But great recovery drive here, my man. Congratulations on that second place finish, and talk us through it, what you were thinking as the whole race was breaking down for you there.
Thanks. Yeah, no, like you said, had a great start. In that last corner, I don't know, I did that a few times in practice and decided to save one for the first lap, and a few choice words there. Yeah, I managed to, I started on the softs and tried to run those as long as I could. I think I put it on like lap 15, so I got a pretty long stint on those, and just a combination of pit strategy and capitalizing on some errors from the other drivers, and managed to work my way back up to my qualifying position at least.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's a small field here for you guys tonight, so that probably changes the way you're thinking about the race, right? You know that there's only going to be 6 other drivers barreling down on you into turn 1 when you start the race, so does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable to get right off? Oop, I'm missing the whole thing. Let's try that again, shall we? Now the drivers can hear me chat, you get to listen to it all over again. Only having 6 other drivers in the field barreling down, on the leaders, of course, at race start, does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable, obviously, to help you settle into the race a lot more quicker, knowing that there's not 15 guys behind you coming down on you? And how does it help you, of course, just think about turn 1, cold tires, and all those things?
Yeah, I mean, 7's better than 15 for sure. Played it safe on turn 1. Luckily, so did everybody else. It was a good, clean run through the first few corners there, and was feeling pretty comfortable until that last turn where I put it in the sand.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, you put your head down and come out with a good result. Now we do have Nolander up in the PS chat here. He's not in the Discord server here currently, so he's just going to ask me a question. I do apologize, you can't hear me. So Nolander's just gonna throw a question out there. You guys won't be able to hear him, so he's just gonna relay it to me, and of course I'll ask the question on his behalf, and we'll of course let you guys answer that as well. So question you have for our second place finisher, Nolander?
Yeah, my question is whether or not he felt confident in his strategy coming into the race, and as it was developing, if he still thought it was going to work out well for him.
All right, so Nolander would like to know if you were confident coming into the race with your predetermined strategy, and then of course as the race developed in front of you, were you happy with the strategy that you came into the race with?
Honestly, 2 kids at home, I didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to do strategy runs, so my strategy was just to come in and run the softs as long as I could off the start, and I guess it worked out all right, thankfully.
Absolutely, and I mean, great drive from you. I mean, second podium of the year here for you. Are you starting to feel pretty comfortable here in the league now?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's good, clean driving. You kind of know what you get coming in, so it's yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
Awesome. And anybody you want to thank or shout out there?
Obviously, a big shout out to the admin for setting us all up, Record for setting up the lobby, and you, of course, for the great play-by-play as we're going through the live broadcasts. A lot of fun to watch back.
Absolutely appreciate it. And of course, we were joined by Nolander Gaming here tonight as well. So when you guys do watch the broadcast back, of course, you will, of course, be able to catch the commentary from both our guys in the booth here tonight. So Mr. Nolander does say congratulations. Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Nolander? Maybe not. All right, but nonetheless, congratulations, and we will catch you next round 5 at Interlagos. So we're heading over to Brazil for next round. How do you feel about Interlagos?
I'm pretty familiar with it, so hopefully get a few practice laps in this week and maybe not put it into the off the track at the last turn of lap 1. Be a good start.
Well, hey, we all make our mistakes, but again, great recovery
Yeah.
drive from you and a very solid second place finish. So congratulations, enjoy it, my man, and
Thank you.
we'll see you next week.
All right.
Indeed.
All right, so to the race winner, ladies and gentlemen, and this man, he was beneficiary of Merch making that mistake in the final corner, of course, on turn 1. He took over the race lead, and that's basically where he stayed. So, my man, absolutely commanding drive from you here tonight. And we seen a couple minor mistakes throughout points of the race, but I didn't see anything too major from you. So how are you feeling today?
Yeah, it was nice to not have to make a recovery drive tonight. I was hoping that you wouldn't get me with the old telepathic spin out commentator's curse, but never came tonight. Kept it consistent. Just tried to keep it between the white lines, and Petey gave me a run for my money that whole first half of the race. He was right there, and I don't know if he just took the wrong strategy or what, but after that, I saw the gap open up and pretty much just tried to settle into a groove and stick with it.
Yeah, from what we could tell, RWB Petey's hand got forced a little bit. He took some front aero damage. Now, I'm not sure if it was an incident with another vehicle or if he just made a mistake in a corner, caught a wall, whatever the case was. So it actually, I think, that forced his hand at it when he was going to pit stop so early there. And then I don't know if he opted not to take any fuel or if he just, missed button clicked and didn't take any fuel. So that forced his hand at having to make a second stop. But on that second stop, he went from the soft to the medium tire. So a little bit of an out of the box strategy from our third place driver, RWP Petey, here this week. And I mean, we can't say it didn't work. He's still on the podium, but at the end of the day, definitely not good enough to take first place from Apex Racing Heathen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So what was your mindset coming into round 4 today? You're coming in, you're leading the championship standings. You've got, what is it, a 9 or a 10 point lead? What are you thinking when you come into a race with that on your shoulders in the back of your mind?
I knew coming into this one that this was one of my better tracks. Excuse me. So I pretty much I didn't have a whole lot of time to run like full strategy stints. So during the week, what time I did have to jump on was spent pretty much on one set of tires, one tank of fuel, seeing how far I can run it, and just going from there. And this track it's a left side tire eater, and if you try and push every lap, make every lap a push lap and hot lap it, it's going to eat them up and you're not going to make your tires last. So just basically try and stick her in there and get a good strategy out of me for once.
Well, I mean, the strategies really haven't been too much of an issue for you this season. It's just, that one mistake, it seems like, so far in each of the first 3 rounds, and then having to come back from it. But like you said, tonight that wasn't the case. You got out front, you kept the nose of the car very clean and in clean air all night, and I mean, hey, the racing gods were definitely in your favor tonight. Everything just kind of fell in place for you, and you had a good, nice, solid drive here tonight at Barcelona. Fastest lap on track as well here this evening. I don't believe it got stolen near the end of the race there as well, and you were almost in the 139s there. So how does that make you feel? Because as we all know here throughout the division as racers, that is a really quick lap.
Yeah, it was. It kind of surprised me that we got it down that far because during the week, the fastest I ever got down to was low 142s, I think, on softs. And I never even thought 140s would be possible, much less that low in the 40s for me anyway. I know some of the elite guys are really putting in some blistering laps around this place, and it's mind-boggling to me.
Absolutely. And like I said, we do have Nolander in a separate chat here, so I'm just going to give
Hey,
him a chance to shout out a question here, and then we're just going to relay it to you. So just bear with me for uno momento, my man.
Will do.
All right, Mr. Nolander.
First off, big congratulations on the runaway win there. And I'm just wondering what your confidence level is moving forward and how you feel about Interlagos.
All right, so massive congratulations on a commanding, huge race win today, 40-second gap. And how is your confidence now as we're moving forward into round 5 at Interlagos?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like I've finally got the nerves out and settled down a little bit. I think that's part of why I didn't have to make another recovery drive tonight. Just really hope we get the full 13-car grid for Interlagos at the fun track. It's another tire eater, right sides this time. And basically just sit down tomorrow while I got some time and try and figure out a little bit of strategy.
Absolutely. And anything you want to add?
I just want to thank, first and foremost, you and Noli for hosting it, GT45 Gaming, and
look forward to see some more.
Doing some great commentary work the last 4 weeks. We all appreciate it. My team, Apex Sim Racing team, GTR Simulators, my girlfriend Rachel. That's pretty much it, man.
All right. Well, again, huge race win for you. GT45 Gaming, of course, proud partners with Apex Racing as well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know. So, on behalf of GT45 Gaming, congratulations, mate. Super proud of you being on that podium again, and can't wait to see what you have for us coming in Interlagos in round 5.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, cheers, my man.
Take care, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. Podium interviews from our podium guys. Unfortunately, we didn't have our WPD. Now, maybe he doesn't have the Discord set up for audio, whatever it is. My apologies. We don't have our third place driver for you. Absolutely amazing folks here tonight. He may have jumped in one of the chats and said something here while we were doing the interviews. Let's see. No, great racing. Have a good night. All says John. But, first and foremost, huge thank you to, of course, Nolander Gaming for coming in second week in a row, stepping into the box with us here for our AM guys. If we have a spot in the booth openly available for Mr. Nolander tomorrow night, and he does have the time to come in, we will definitely try to get him to also come in for our elite race tomorrow night. Huge calls from you tonight, Nolander. You got some sharp eyes, a great wit on the racetrack. We really do appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight in the box again.
Absolutely, my guy, anytime. And again, I greatly appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to it. And I absolutely do have time for you all tomorrow if you'd have me.
Absolutely. So, of course, it is room dependent, ladies and gentlemen. We only got 16 spots available in our grids here on Gran Turismo 7. So, as long as we have a open spot on that grid, we will have Mr. Nolander Gaming from Facebook and YouTube back in the comments box with your boy GT45 Gaming. And we're both going to bring you all that live action. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, folks. The Elite Boys take the track here in Spain. And I think that these guys are going to put on a show. You're not going to want to miss it. It's been an absolutely phenomenal race here. Again, small grid from our AM guys, but super exciting. And, what else can you say? Congratulations to our podium finishers. Petey, Merch, Apex Heathen. Great racing out there, dudes. Can't wait to see what Interlagos is going to bring for everybody. Interlagos is going to be a tough racetrack, very technical racetrack in Brazil, a world famous racetrack as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to provide great racing next week for our amateur guys. But again, we are presenting here for Flat Out Racing North America. This is, of course, sponsored by GTR Simulators. For more information on GTR Simulators, there is a link provided in the Facebook and Flat Out Racing North American YouTube channels in the pinned comments by Apex Racing. That is a link that I need to get back from these guys so we can get that to you in the pinned comments again. And of course, I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. For more information and just small little quick recent updates, hit the Instagram, again, in the pinned comments on the channels as well. If you're new to the series and you loved what you've seen here tonight and you want to see more, we've got 4 straight nights of racing for all you amazing viewers out there over the next 4 days as well. So if you haven't already, please like and share the broadcast out. It's a free thing you can do to help us grow. And if you really want to see more of the action, hit that follow or subscribe if you're over on the YouTube channels. Turn on all those live notifications and you'll always be notified when we go live to bring great racing action from Flat Out Racing North America. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Co-host this evening is Mr. Nolander Gaming, and we are signing off this absolutely great night of racing. Take care, everybody. Peace and love. And Mr. Nolander?
Thank you, folks. Appreciate you all tuning in. Y'all have a wonderful night and take care.
And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay winning. We love you. We appreciate you. And remember, you matter. See you tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care.